Hey everyone, Shao Andy here. The ceremony I mentioned that was on the 27th actually happened earlier tonight on the 25th. There was a schedule change, and the ceremony was moved to today. I've noticed that I've noticed that teachers are always very sensitive about your schedule changes and want you to notify them ahead of time a lot, but they don't usually do that to you. That's topic for another complaint video. So I went to the ceremony, and I mentioned earlier how I was replaced as the pianist by a senior member of the club. So I mentioned how if she did a good job as the pianist, I would be happy. If she didn't, I would be mad. And I think I'm pretty mad right now. I'm not like fuming. I'm not gonna like kill someone, but I'm pretty upset and frustrated. I'm gonna try to remain calm, but don't be surprised if I get a little passionate and worked up. In the background, I just have some of my Muse scores playing. I actually finished my first Muse score, Ghosts and Dreams. You can go check that out if you want, I guess. So, and also in regards to covers, I don't know when the next one will be out, but do expect one on Halloween. I'll have it uploaded on Halloween. And I don't really know what this channel is anymore. I don't know if it's a piano cover channel or just like this sort of vlog channel where I ramble about stuff, but I guess it's whatever I want to make at the moment. I want to share my thoughts about this, so I think where to start. I'm going to start with the pieces the pianist played rather than the pianist herself, because that's not as big of a deal in my opinion. Let me start this off by saying that I hate it when people say I don't like classical music because it's boring. I think that's a very uninformed thing to say, because what most people consider quote-unquote classical music is really 400 or more years worth of music split across 5 very distinct separate genres, each with their own separate characteristics and like not motifs, but like each like distinguishing characteristics, and they all have their own like peculiarities and stuff. Like there's the Baroque period with Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach, and that was like in the 1600s. 1700s was the classical era, which everyone seems to think means all piano music that ever was created ever, for whatever reason. And the classical era had stuff people like Mozart and Beethoven. And then from the 1800s, there was the Romantic period, where with composers like Chopin, Schumann, Schubert. And then after that, in the late 1800s, there was the Impressionistic era, which was mostly a French movement with Debussy and Ravel. And then after that, extending to today from 1900, was the contemporary era with mostly Russian composers and stuff like Scott Joplin's The Entertainer. So yeah, saying blanket statements, I hate classical music, is a really, really demeaning thing to say to 400 years worth of music. And it's a very ignorant thing to say, but I can completely understand why people say that, and that has to do with what I'm about to complain about with the ceremony. I don't know the name of the piece she played, and it's probably just another fucking sonatina. I fucking hate sonatinas. I have a bad history with sonatinas. Sonatas are great. I love sonatas. Beethoven sonatas, I love playing those. He made a bunch of sonatas. I love Opus 31 number 3, Opus 72 number 1. I played those, had a blast with them. But when I was a kid, I was forced to play sonatinas, which are basically extremely watered down sonatas that are like half the length, and they're just so fucking cookie cutter and bland. Like, I guess it's too late to warn about swearing in these videos, but yeah, I'm gonna be swearing. Like, I guess to explain why I disliked the pieces she performed, I'm gonna have to get into a little side rant about music and what types of music I like. To me, what makes a piece of music good isn't necessarily how good it sounds, it's the ability to convey emotions or paint a picture in the listener's mind. If a piece sounds really, really amazing, like it sounds like just complete like bliss to the ears, but it's literally nothing but a bunch of like, it doesn't convey anything. It's just like, let's say it's just a really nice drum beat, but it doesn't actually have any emotion behind it. That's not a good piece of music in my eyes. I might enjoy it, but I don't like it. Like, let's take an example. I don't know. Most pop music, I like. There's no denying that stuff by, like, I guess Taylor Swift or Katy Perry or whatever. It's catchy. It sticks in your mind. The melodies are well written, but they're generic and they don't have any. In my opinion, they just lack sincerity. They lack genuity, and for that reason, they're not good music in my eyes. I mean, music is extremely subjective, but this is just my view on it. Meanwhile, an example of a good piece would be, like, let's say Undertale from Undertale. It sounds amazing, that's for sure. Like the guitar and the piano combined, and then like all the key changes and melody lines and stuff. But the reason why I like it is because there's so much passion, there's so much love and hope and sorrow and tragedy reflected in those notes, and that's what makes it a good piece of music. And that doesn't have to extend only to like emotional pieces. I think Bone Trussell, for example, pretty much everything off the Undertale OST, but let's just go with Bone Trussell as an example. Bone Trussell is an amazing piece of music because it perfectly captures in its notes the character of Papyrus, like how mischievous he is, how seriously he takes himself, how there's more to him than it seems, etc. And the ability to convey that through music is what I think makes a piece of music good. The music that the pianist played at this ceremony was forgettable. That's the best word I can just say to describe it. It's good music to sleep to. It's good music to just have it float to the back of your mind and just have it be there while you do other things. That's not necessarily a good thing unless that's what you wanted. Like the Portal soundtrack, I listen to it when I do my homework, and it really helps because it's meant to float to the back of your mind, and it's ambient tracks. That's what they were made for. So I can respect them because they're serving their purpose. But when it comes to stuff that's supposed to be emotional, like that, I'm pretty sure what she played was supposed to be emotional. It sounded like it tried to be, but it was just so repetitive and boring. And if you took like 5 seconds of music theory, you could see every single key change, every single melody line coming from a million miles away because it was so uninspired. They took the easy route. I hate it when artists take the easy route to make their pieces sound memorable just by resorting to stuff that's so easy to like compose. Like there's no thought behind it, there's no emotion behind it, and that's a type of music that really pisses me off. And it's stuff like that that makes people dislike classical music as a genre. It paints the entire 400 years of music in an unfavorable light because of that, and it's just something that makes me mad. And I think a lot of non-pianists watching this, if there are a lot of them, are going to be very confused by what I'm about to say next. But as a pianist of 9 years, I think this is I'm justified in saying this. I fucking hate for Elise, like, because she played it there, and I'm trying to find a good example. Like, if any of you, well, probably a lot of you are, but if any of you are like die-hard fans of Undertale, and you're just huge part of the community, you love everything about it, and I guess the closest example is, Fur Elise is essentially Megalovania. It's a good track. It's very good. It's nice it's a good piece of music, but it is so overplayed in the community. Like, it's almost like you're not a good pianist unless you can play Fur Elise, because it's just that iconic for whatever reason. There's so many pieces by Beethoven that are much better than it. Moonlight Sonata, the two sonatas I mentioned earlier, just, you can pick his symphonies. You can pick so much stuff from his repertoire, from his resume, that you could like choose as a symbol of like status, I guess, for pianists. But they went for Elise for whatever reason. Like, it's a good piece, but it doesn't deserve that much treatment in my opinion. Like, and everyone just plays it so much, and they just don't play, and don't even play it well. Like, the pianist here played it really slowly. I guess that fits the mood of the ceremony. But like, if you're gonna play it that slowly, why not just play a different piece that fits the mood better? It's like, are you just trying to win over the masses who don't know, like, well, who are just won over by the simple fact that the piece that is being played is named for release because they have heard from other people that it's a good piece, not because they're actually trying to think about whether it's a good piece or not. Like, people don't try to like form their own opinions about music a lot of the times. I guess that maybe that's not the right word, but like, I don't even know what I'm fucking saying anymore. But it's just like, bottom line is, For Elise is overplayed. Please stop playing it at every single social gathering ever. It doesn't deserve that much attention. There's so many other pieces that you could be playing. So yeah, that's the pieces that she played out of the way. Bottom line, they were forgettable and they were overplayed. And I'm not going to say that the Undertale soundtrack is like the pinnacle of human achievement. It's like the best piece of music ever, but I think it's a lot better at conveying emotion than most of the stuff that she played. And I don't fault her for that, because I don't even know if she picked her own music, and either way, it's like, whatever. It's like, it's not her fault that the pieces she played were unmemorable. I mean, a brilliant pianist can take an uninteresting piece and make it interesting, but that's very rare. I'm pretty sure I can't even do that, because I'm honestly not that good in the grand scheme of things. I'm maybe like semi-advanced intermediate, maybe. Like, I don't practice enough to be considered like even close to professional level, but I digress. So I don't know if I should talk about. What else should I talk about? Oh, this just pissed me off so much, and it's a very selfish thing to get pissed off over, but I'm a sensitive person, I guess. At the end of the ceremony, the club director was like, "Now, everyone please rise and give a big hand to name removed for privacy for playing in this ceremony." And then everyone rose up and clapped. And then she took a bow and she walked off stage. Guess what happened when I played at the ceremony where I played at? I was not even mentioned at all. My name was never said. When people were filing off, I played Death by Glamour, and then I walked off stage by myself after everyone had left. It's like, I wouldn't call myself an attention whore, but if she gets credit, why can't I? Like, it just didn't seem very fair. What else to say? Maybe I could talk about her actual like piano playing skill, but I don't think it's fair to judge someone's piano playing skill off of a single performance where they were probably rushed on a deadline and the pieces they played were really bad. So I guess it's not. I'm not gonna like roast her or anything. She doesn't need that. I'm sure she's fine. She's a decent pianist. Like, outside of that, I'd never heard her play before this, so I had no standard like coming into it. But I'm not sure what the point of this video was. I guess it's just me venting my musical frustrations. Yeah, so I guess I followed up on my promise on the subject of Ceremonies Part 1 video, where if I didn't enjoy the pianist performance, I would have some choice words. Here are my choice words for almost 14 minutes now. So yeah, I'll see you all later. I don't know when my next cover will be uploaded. School's been pretty hectic lately, but maybe on the weekend I'll have something. So yeah, see y'all later.